All right, we'll go ahead and kick things off. Welcome. Welcome to the Arc Server Forum for June. Today we've got a couple of items. Again, it's going to be a little bit on the lighter side. We're going to first talk about any light agent updates. Then I'll hand off to Abdullah and Prateem to speak to SQL Server updates as well. Then we'll hand to Jalen to talk about a preview for the GCP Multicloud Connector so you get a bit of a sneak peek into that. And finally, Maddie will share opportunity to provide feedback on our upcoming run command capability. As you're aware, run command's currently in public preview and looking to go to GA within the end of this calendar year. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. First, I wanted to share our most recent agent updates. We had a version release for 1.53 in June. It had some quick fixes and slight enhancements. One thing to note is we are encouraging all of our customers to please stay towards the latest agent versions. Note that we no longer support agents that are older than 1 year. And specifically, there were a number of customers that were running agents below agent version 1.46, I believe, where we did not have an increase in the extension package size that might have been impacted by some of our extensions like MDE having larger package sizes. So this would cause retry logic and reinstallation failures that might have had some performance impacts. So again, it reiterates the importance of staying on the latest agent version, which we hope is going to be easier, especially with the upcoming auto agent upgrade capability. But with that said, and we know that most folks here on the community call are keeping their agent on the latest version, we'll go ahead and switch over to our first topic. So excited to have Abdullah and Prateem come join and share the SQL Server updates for Azure Arc. So please take it away and feel free to take control of the screen share or the deck. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Arnav. Uh, my name is Abdullah. I'm a PM in the Arc SQL team, and I also have my colleague Prateem with me. So there are two items that we want to talk today. One is we just announced this week preview of Arc SQL in U.S. government Virginia. And we also recently announced about Arc SQL working fine with SQL Server 2025 that was announced preview in last month. So let's start with US Gov Virginia. So just this month, Monday, we announced that SQL Server enabled by Azure Arc is available in US government cloud in Virginia as a preview feature. So that allows our customers to onboard their SQL Server on Azure Arc so that they can centrally manage it. And right now it has very limited set of features, but will be working continuously to add more features. At this time, it is of course available in Virginia region only with Windows. You can onboard the SQL Server to Azure Arc there, and you can see the SQL Server inventory. You can see the version, databases, and edition features like that. But all other features for Arc SQL is not available. And if you have AG or FCI, or if you have dependent services like SQL Server, reporting services, analysis services, integration services, or Power BI reporting services, those are not supported at this time. But as I mentioned, we are continuously working on it. The first thing we'll offer very soon is billing and license management. Then it will offer the feature parity with the public cloud. And we'll expand to other region like US government, Arizona next. So if you go ahead and please use it and let us know what you think about it. If you have any feedback, you can share it with our community forum or your Microsoft representatives too. Right. Another big item is SQL Server 2025. SQL Server 2025 went to public preview last month, and there are lots of interests on it. In we just announced this month that now Arc SQL works fine with SQL Server 2025. So you can have all the features. And SQL 2025 does offer a new edition called Standard Developer Edition. And previous Enterprise Edition is renamed as Enterprise Developer Edition. Both work fine with Arc enabled SQL Server. And we also offer that you can use manage identity. And with me, I have my colleague, my friend, Pratim here. Pratim, do you want to say a few lines on that?
Oh yeah, a quick update on that. So as you know, there's an Arc agent that enables the machine. We do have one more extension for SQL specifically, right? So with the latest version of that, if you install the June or the May release, you should be able to use the Arc machine's identity, which is provisioned by the Arc agent itself. Now, SQL can make use of that to have your logins and users connect directly to the machine without managing any credentials. So if you remember in SQL 2022, we used to do app registration, which had to be done using a certificate. That has been eliminated now. You can use Arc's identity to do that. And on top of it, you can use Arc's identity in the SQL Server to speak to Key Vault and TDE to have a seamless authentication without managing any credential. So yeah, that's it. It's simple and sound. Over to you, Raghav.
Thank you so much, Pratim. So before I hand it over to the next speaker, any questions on the SQL side? All right. Okay. Giving it to you.
Awesome, Jalen. Are you able to take control?
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
Cool. Hi, folks. I'm Jalen McGee, product manager on the ARC team, and today I'll do a high-level overview of the GCP Public Cloud Connector. As folks may know, currently the AWS Multicloud Connector is GA. And so we're working on the public preview for GCP support as well. So I'll do a high-level overview, and then I'll also give you a sneak peek into kind of what the experience will look like for our GCP Public Cloud Connector. So like I mentioned, just for a high level, we're targeting public preview at Ignite in November. But if you are interested in participating in a small private preview, then we will have something for folks to try out sooner than later. And if you're interested, you can definitely reach out to me, and my email is included there. So what I'll do now is kind of show the public preview experience that we're targeting. And if you have questions, feel free to let us know, but I'll share my screen and go through it. This one. Awesome. So I'll go through the experience. If folks are familiar with the AWS multi-cloud connector, then you'll see that it's very similar. But for folks who may not be familiar with the connectors kind of all up, it essentially allows you to connect your AWS or GCP environments to Azure, and then you can inventory more than 100 different resource types. And then for select resource types like VMs currently, you can also Arc enable those once they are inventoried. So I'll walk through how that experience looks here in Azure Portal. So to start off the experience, you'll see you'll start by creating a GCP connector. And now that we have both options, kind of currently the default today is just to go straight into creating AWS, but now that we're adding more platforms, and you'll now have this option there. So once you select create the GCP connector, there are a couple of details that we need from you. We need the basics, of course, subscription, resource group, and everything like that. But you also have an option to connect to a single project, a single GCP project, or an entire organization account. So Connecting to a single project means that only the resources in that project will be inventoried and be Arc enabled. And if you do the organization account, then that includes the entire scope of the resources in the organization. And if you do select organization account, but you don't want a certain select few projects to be included, then you can include like which certain member accounts you don't want included there. So you can do the entire organization, but exclude a key few if you'd like to. From there, we have these two solutions that I've been talking about. First is just the inventory solution. And this essentially makes it so you can get an inventory view in Azure of all the resource types and service types that are supported. Now, we don't have an exact list yet for GCP of which ones will be supported, but as we go along through our previews, those will be released. And so some other capabilities here, you can elect to use the periodic sync. So you can tell the connector how often you want it to scan your GCP environment and inventory your resources. And then you can also use filters to filter out specific instances. So you can do that. And then for sure, you can also control which regions are inventory as well. So that's our first solution, just the inventory solution itself. And then we have the Arc onboarding solution. And in here, these are for virtual machines that are inventory. So for these VMs in your GCP environment, you can tell the connector, hey, each time you identify a VM, go ahead and Arc enable it. And so for that, you can, these are all the general settings that are there for general Arc enablement. You choose connectivity method, same deal with the periodic sync. And the resource filters are exactly the same as with the inventory solution. You can make certain selections there. Onward from there, after you select which solutions you want to take advantage of, then you're provided with the GCP Cloud script. So this is a script that you download and then you run it within your GCP environment. It has the instructions on how to do that here. But this essentially enables the connector connection. So you can create the connector resource here in Azure without, before you finish running this script in your environment. But as you'll see on a couple later slides, that will simply create the connector. It won't enable the connection until you run this script. So this is one point that we are really working to drive home with customers, because we do see a number of connectors that get created, but customers don't fulfill that last step quite yet to run the script on the GCP or AWS side, and then the connector is in a stale state until you do that. So this is just a really important piece. You can see we have this note up here: the connector will not be linked until the cloud script is properly applied. So this is something that you take in running your environment. And then the rest is pretty straightforward. You have your tags for the connector, and then you go through the process to create that. So like I mentioned, this is essentially generates the script that you need to run in GCP. And then this is how it looks until that script is properly applied. This is the Multicloud Connector resource here in Azure. And you can see these are the solutions that we selected. The inventory, you can see the status will remain as failed until the cloud script is properly applied. And we do have in the settings, we do have the script and the details referenced there. So you can always refer to it easily, so that you can, once you are ready to deploy the cloud script, you can easily find it in your settings. But it's the same deal with Arc onboarding and inventory. They will both show that way until the script is accurately applied. So this is the general flow for the GCP Multicloud Connector. If you're interested in seeing like the entire end-to-end of what the connector can do for you and how it looks in the experience, we have an awesome jumpstart video that I'll share in the chat And that really goes end to end on how the inventory is viewed, what you can do once all your resources start getting imported. But for now, I wanted to show the experience of creating the connector itself, which will be available, as I mentioned, in public preview in the Ignite timeframe. Cool. Let me see if any questions have been coming up for me. Let's see. Cool. I don't see any questions so far, but I'll pause and see if any folks want to come off mute and present any questions. Awesome. Okay. Well, if there are no questions, I'll stop sharing. Arnav, I'll pass it back to you, and I'll put the video that I referenced here in the chat in just a moment. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jalen. So next we'll have Maddie share. So I'm just going to go ahead and present. And it's always great to get a sneak peek of the GCP connector. This is really exciting. I know the AWS connector is already really exciting as well for a lot of our customers. So it's great to see that same capability in GCP. Awesome. So with that, I'll hand over to Maddie to speak to some feedback for run command.
Hey folks, Arnav, are you able to share the run command mode slide? My Teams is being a little bit tricky, so I can't see what's being shared.
Yep, sharing the run command mode slide.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Awesome. So I wanted to talk about a new capability we are considering adding with run command and get some feedback from folks. So for those of you that are familiar, the Arc agent has this mode capability. So right now, there's really only two modes, one being full mode, just your default Arc agent, everything is allowed. And then we also have monitor mode, which basically blocks extensions and kind of puts your agent into a read-only mode. So as we move towards general availability for run command, we're considering adding a run command mode to basically improve the security posture of script execution. And so what this mode would mean is it would disable other forms of script execution. So it would block custom script extension, scripting through Azure Automation and through Windows Admin Center. And then it would also allow you to have control over where your scripts are sourced. So for instance, we may only allow scripts coming from a Microsoft curated gallery where we have scripts that we upload and have pre-vetted. Or this may be, a customer defined gallery, so you could upload your scripts. So we really want to get some feedback on what's best here. Do you want us to pre-vet all the scripts, or do you want to have the ability to upload your own? Is disabling custom script extension, would that be valuable, or are you opposed to that? So we're looking to customers to answer these questions. And so I have pasted a link on the slide, but I'll also paste it in the chat. And there's also an option there if you have just any other run command feedback just as a feature in general, you can also put it there as well. So really looking forward to seeing what folks think. And that's all I had, Arnav, if you want to take, yeah, sorry.
Go. Sorry, thanks so much for sharing, Maddie. And yeah, I think it'll be great to get feedback. So there's the ak.ms run command mode form. I think folks can fill out if they have any feedback that they're interested in sharing. So with that, that's actually a wrap for today's Arc Server Forum. Thanks again for joining. We know it was a light agenda for these last 2 months, and obviously through summer we're going to keep the agenda a little bit lighter and then ramp back up as things get back into full session around September, October. That said, if you're ever interested in participating in one of these forums or being a presenter, please feel to reach out to me directly, and we will continue to upload the recordings for all of these sessions onto YouTube. A couple of days lag time is going to be expected there. All right. Thanks so much. Happy Thursday. Have a great rest of your day.